it's Miss Ashley. Y'all, I got the new cameras. Oh, so excited. Look how pretty they are. Oh my goodness. You guys, it's so fun. New cameras. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, I'm just pulling y'all up in Facebook so I can see whoever pops on. Whoops. I almost made it take over the entire screen. Look at this. The new cameras, they're like not blurry anymore. It's amazing. Oh my goodness. The husband surprised me and was like, got the new cameras. Because every day I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. Why is it blurry? There's like a Barbara Walters like soft focus. Something's happening. And he's like, I'm tired of hearing it. So then I got new cameras out of it. That's a tip for you ladies. Just complain a lot, then you get it. Not always, but sometimes. So yay, I'm so excited. Watch this. This is the coolest thing. I was like, but Dylan, I need it to be like in focus in the back and focus here. Because like if we have our paint party replays, people might see like in the back, like all of those are still available, but they're all blurry. They're not gonna be able to see. He goes, yeah, but watch, do this. Ready? Oh, they're all in focus now. How cool is that? Look, they're all not blurry. I'm not blurry. We're all happy. And then I just scoot up and then they go blurry and then I'm in focus. What? What is with these new cameras? They're so fancy. And my husband, thank God, he knows what he's doing because I would have just had the crappy cameras the whole time. Oh, friends. So I'm going to share some really fun supplies and things. I mean, I share them a lot here, but I know there's new people and everything, but I'm going to just share some fun snow tips because it's snow season, right? Not in California, but in other parts of the world, there's snow. But we all like to paint and decorate and do all the snow stuff. So I'm going to show you some of that stuff that I like. And real easy, real clean, low mess, great fun. And then we have this paint party tomorrow. Y'all, this paint party's tomorrow. The kind of sus, I have a cat fur on my nose, it's bugging me. The kind of sus snow globe paint party with our little friends from Among Us. We're gonna draw those. There will be like a little tracer, you could trace it, but you know, the kids, I would totally encourage them to just give it a try and draw it. We'll do it step by step in the group. So if your kiddos want to do this, normally my paint parties are $15. I was going to say 20. They're $15 online. Like when I teach in person, they're like $35, $40, but online, they're $15, except this one is only $10. This is a quicker little watercolor. It should take us an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on whoever, you know, which kids join us and how much help they need and how many kids we have. So I'm guessing an hour and a half at the max, but I'm guessing about an hour for this one, okay? So all the kiddos in your house can paint it, just one price for the whole lot of the ones in your house, all the kiddos. I mean, you can paint it too if you're a big kid like me. But this one I did with markers, and you can do it also with watercolor. So if you have watercolor and you're like, well, I don't have the markers, but I have watercolor. My kid likes watercolor. Just bust out the watercolors. I can show them how to use both, and I will. But the markers are really fun. They're like my favorite magic trick for art for kids. So I'm going to be doing mine with markers, but I will also show watercolor if kids are doing it with watercolor, okay? And the only other thing, you need a Sharpie for it. You need markers and or watercolors, and white acrylic paint, and then a couple brushes, just to be able to paint it. Even if you're using the markers, you need the brushes, unless they don't want to do the magic trick, in which case, then they don't. They just color it with markers, which then they just work on the drawing portion and coloring it, crayons, colored pencils, whatever you want, really. And then watercolor paper. So if you're gonna paint, do it on watercolor paper, okay? Because watercolor paper helps. It helps it move. We want the water and the paint to move, okay? So that is tomorrow night at 5 p.m. in our private group. Go to craveartclub.com/paintparties, and that's where you can get that info. All right, we're going down to the tabletop, y'all. That's Dylan's favorite part. I want to show you kind of some supplies, and these are things that we're going to use for that party too, so it will be helpful. But I've had a lot of people messaging me saying, what are your favorite supplies for paint pens? What supplies do you use for this? What are the right markers? What are the right kinds of papers? Like all the things. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go on. I'm going to go on, tell everyone what it is that I like. You can pick what you like, but I have found these to work, and so I enjoy them. I have just a little cup of water. And then I need some brushes. And I'm gonna try out something new. I have not tried the Mr. Sketch markers yet for this fun technique, but I wanna see if they work. Crayola works great, but I don't know about Mr. Sketch, so I'm gonna try that out with y'all. I'm trying to find my favorite paintbrush for watercolor, but what in the world? I don't know what I'll do with it, y'all. This big, giant red brush. Oh, I gotta find it. Okay, sorry. We're already done at the tabletop. So this is my favorite watercolor pad. Mine, you can see, is ripped up, and I think I'm on my last paper. But this is the best, in my opinion, for the kiddos. Because, one, it's affordable. It's cheaper than a lot of the others. But it's not your cheap, like, school-grade watercolor paper. That I don't like at all. I'd rather spend the extra couple dollars. I mean, if you're a teacher listening right now and you're going to do a watercolor project with your kids, it's 30 sheets in one pack. It's like $10, and you can get it down to like $6. Sometimes on Amazon they have deals, but with a coupon at Michael's, you guys, it's worth it. For 30 kids to have decent color watercolor paper, it makes a huge difference in the quality of their work that turns out and how much fun they actually end up having because their product turns out so much better. So invest in decent watercolor paper. If you can spend the extra, $2 that it might cost, it's only $6 and it's fantastic. Okay, so I would get this. It makes a huge difference. And then you tell your kiddos if you're watercoloring, the top up here, hi friends who are just joining, we're just going over some fun supplies. So the top of the paper, when it's in the, normally this doesn't fall off. Normally you flip it up. Mine's used and loved. So you just flip it up, but the top, whatever's on the top is what you usually want to draw on. The back side is not as great for watercolor as the top side. Yes, for sure. Corby's saying, well worth it. It makes all the difference, right? And she's a teacher too. It makes a huge, huge difference. So this is the one you want, okay? 9 by 12, great. Even if you're gonna do this with your kiddos at school or you're in your house and you wanna make little smaller pictures, just cut it in half and then you get 60 sheets, you guys. It's so great. So use the top. The trick is, if you're gonna lay this out for all your kids, did it just go blurry? No, okay. If you're gonna lay this all out for your kids, right? Oh shoot, I forgot to pull that up. If you're gonna lay it out for your kids in your house or your kids at home, okay? Write their name on the back. So what I would do, peel that off. I'm gonna flip it over and I would take a pencil or pen or whatever. And I would write like my kid's name on it. It's blurry again. You guys got the new cameras and now it's blurry again. It's trying to focus. So I'll just write my name. I was gonna do an R. That didn't work. So then I know this is the back. And then maybe the date, like so the kids can see like, what year they made their project in. So I do that. That way they know don't paint on the other side. We're blurry again. You guys, new cameras. We're trying to see how it goes. Stop it. Oh, it's focusing on my hands and then it gets confused, I think. I'll leave my hands here. So this way, the kids don't usually paint on the back side then. I'm not going to say always because I have had plenty of kids just, it's being weird, Dylan. It's focusing all funky. But I have had kids paint right where their name was and then I just have to erase their name a little bit if possible. So that's one trick. And then here, they're gonna draw. Okay, now if you ever wanna do watercolor, but you wanna see the design, like, because sometimes watercolor takes on a mind of its own, and when we're learning, right? But Sharpies are your friend. Yes, even with your 5-year-olds, just keep an eye on them and you just tell them to keep the drawing on the paper. If it goes anywhere else, then we take away the Sharpies and we don't get to do art, right? Like they're gonna wanna do art, so you just give them a Sharpie and trust them, right? So let's just say I'm gonna draw, what am I gonna draw? I wanna draw something big so that I have room. Well, we'll just draw a flower. We'll just draw a circle. I'll draw kid style. That's a crummy Sharpie. You want good Sharpies, my friends. We're just gonna draw like a big petal sort of. Oh, this is a rehydrated Sharpie. Okay, flower, right? But that won't go anywhere because this is permanent. So when we do our fun tricks, it's not gonna move around. Okay, I'm gonna draw another one because I wanna show you a couple tricks. Let's just make like a whole like hippie little page here, right? And then maybe we'll just do a few little lines in there. Little doodles. Little doodles. The kiddos will have fun. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to use those pens, and I'm going to use watercolor. So I need a third, you guys. So just a little circle in the middle. This is not Christmassy. Sorry. I probably should have thought about Christmas time, but everything else is Christmassy right now. So we're good. All right, so that's 3. We'll start with 3. So Sharpie. Sharpie's not going to move. Sharpie will stay put, okay? My favorites are Crayola markers. I talk about these all the time, you guys. I love them so much. But you can take any color and you can kind of just color in part of your flower, let's just say, okay? I'm going to put some colors. And see how I'm not coloring the whole thing? I show you a little trick. Now, if you're going to do this with the kiddos, you do just want to make sure that they don't color the entire flower. Once you color in the whole flower, basically you've just colored your picture with markers and you're done. Like, the trick doesn't work so well then. So we're going to grab the water, and I'm just getting like with a clean brush. It's just clean brush, clean water, okay? And then I'm going to go right over. Now, for tomorrow, we're doing the Among Us Kinda Sus paint party, right? So we're going to learn how to draw it, and then we're going to paint it. And I'm going to teach it like this with markers, okay? And then you can just kind of move. Look at that. Isn't that so fun? You just move that ink all around and it becomes watercolor. What? So special, right? I need more water. I just dip back in for more water. And then I know that these Crayola broadline markers work fantastic. So if you have those, give it a try. If you don't have those and you have other markers, all you want to do is lay them on watercolor paper that you might use tomorrow if you're going to paint with us tomorrow. Or, if you're going to paint on your own any other time. Just try it on the watercolor paper. And as long as it kind of moves around, then you are good to go. It doesn't have to be Crayola. I just always use Crayola, and I know that they work great. So isn't that cool, you guys? How we can just move this, and you do kind of want to work fast. So kids are usually really great at working fast. It's usually us adults that like take our time a little bit more than the kiddos. And see, okay, so if I only go over it the one time, my brush strokes really stay. If you work slow, I feel like the ink kind of absorbs into the paper a little bit more, and so it doesn't blend as well later on. This is kind of like when you put your kids' artwork on the kitchen counter and you don't realize that there's water on the counter, and then all of a sudden you have what you call a mess, and your kids' art has bled all over the place, and you're like, oh my gosh, now there's ink on the counter, there's ink everywhere. That's the other thing, you guys. If you do something like this, just make sure you have some paper towels. I have a plastic sheet that I work on. It's not going to soak through on watercolor paper, but if you were on like a different type of paper, it could soak through, and then that ink will go straight down to whatever surface you're working on. So be careful with that, all right, friends? Here's another fun thing. These are watercolor pens, kind of. It's just a brush, and then you fill this with water, okay? So my other favorite is Crayola's 24 count watercolors. I just think their colors are the most vibrant. I have bought so many types of watercolor. And aside from my watercolors that are like, $80 and really expensive and stuff like that, these ones are $5 and the best out of all of them, I think. Even out of like the $15 packs and the $20 packs, and they're $5, they're Crayola, they're fabulous. So what you can do with watercolor, let's make a turquoisey one. Oh, that's not my favorite one though. Let's make this green color. All right, so you get your palette over here a little bit wet, right? Sometimes if you got little kiddos, you want to spray this with a spray bottle, and then they don't have to keep like activating the paint really to start it, which is great. Just a little spritz, and they're all ready to go for the kids. And I tell the kiddos, especially with Crayola, all you have to do is like 1, 2 in the palette. Otherwise, you're just putting a palette on your paper here. And then we can just move this around, right? Just like regular watercolor. So for our kind of sus snow globe party tomorrow, you could, if your kiddos don't have the markers, you can just grab a Sharpie and grab your watercolor, and they can just paint with watercolor, okay? So we can do that. That's fun. But another thing is this kind of a brush. So it fills with water, and you can kind of squeeze it and you see the water kind of comes out. So now my brush is wet, and I could, let's just go put it on that one I didn't really love. I can get that paint, and then I can just squeeze, and the water is already there. And then I don't have to squeeze, I can just move all that kind of around so that my brush is always gonna stay pretty hydrated, right? So we can just kind of work like this. So fun, right? And then you can just wipe it off, squeeze out a little more water, and rinse it, and then you're back to a nice clean brush, and you could switch to any other color. Let's get another shade of green. You could switch to, you need a little bit more, switch to any other green or any other color that you wanted. Got a booger on that one. And then just keep painting, right? Just next time I want to just squeeze a little water in there, and then I can go along and add some more color, friends. So you could have so much fun with this, right? These are kind of cool. I'm not sure if I love them more than I love a regular brush because I'm old-fashioned, I guess. But it is kind of fun, and I can take some of this color and put it over in here and just kind of play. All right, y'all? So that's how that one goes. We'll squeeze out some paint. We'll clean that off. You do just want to make sure that, squeeze out some water. You want to make sure you keep your brush nice and clean at the end. And then you can put the cap on, and it's ready for next time. So that's really low mess for any parents who are like, oh my gosh, I can't take the mess of art. It's just too messy. I can't do it with my kids. I won't do it with my kids. They want to do it, but the mess freaks me out. Y'all don't have to worry about it with stuff like that. And honestly, with watercolor and markers, especially the marker trick I just showed you for the pink flower, that's way low mess, okay? And most people have these Crayola markers. Now, what I want to see is if Mr. Sketch here, because I have these Mr. Sketch smelly markers, I want to see if these will work. I'll do purple. I want to see if these will work like the Crayola does, okay? So remember, we use just marker here. These are these Crayola markers, like that. My favorite markers. If anyone has an in with Crayola, I really want to do an art lesson for them because I think it'd be so fun. They're my favorite. So that's Crayola marker. That's Crayola watercolor. Now, I'm going to try with the Mr. Sketch because I have yet to try with my Mr. Sketch. They have nice, pretty color. But we'll get some on here and we'll see what happens. I don't know if these are going to bleed enough or not. So this is what you'd want to check. If you're going to do our kind of sus paint party tomorrow and you're like, I don't know if I have the markers. Whatever markers you have, you're going to take the water and you're going to put it on. See, and then for me, I'd be like, nope. Oh, that one did not work so well. See the difference, you guys? It moves, but I've got that harsh line. See, I'm telling you guys, Crayola is amazing. I like Mr. Sketch for other things, but not for this magic trick. And then the kids would be like, mine didn't work. What happened? That's a bummer. And I'd be like, yep, that's okay. It's just your markers. So now what I'd tell a kiddo is like, you know what? That's all right. This time just color it with markers. Let that dry up first and then color that up with some markers, you know? Or let's see, we can take our fancy Crayola's watercolor over here. Nope, that's gonna be too light. Let's take this color, it's a little darker. And you can just, have a little accent. It's not gonna be the same, but we could still have some fun. Pull a little bit of that color in. See, it's just not the same, you guys. It's not the same. You want the Crayolas. You want Crayola. Kat, hi, friend. How are you? Did you finish? Oh, you did. You finished your truck. I saw it. It was gorgeous. I did this with Summer, she says. Summer's her daughter. Oh, yay. I'm so glad. Did she like it? Did she have fun with it? And here's another cool thing. Let me find a piece of paper. I've got paper somewhere, probably on a chair. Where's some paper? Oh, there it is. Okay. So if I grab a little piece of scrap paper, this is mixed media paper. Now, mixed media paper will work for watercolor as well as acrylic. But if I know that I'm doing watercolor, I prefer watercolor paper. Okay. So I'm just going to scribble. Oh, that's the brown orange. That's the tiger orange. It's not as bright, but I'm going to try this. So I can put it on this other page, okay? And I can use that like a palette. So I can rub the brush with water on it on there, and then I can apply it to my watercolor paper. Look how cool that is. Of course, your ideas are amazing. Well, thank you, my friend. It is so fun. I love this. And if you are, I'm really bummed about this flower. Those were so cute. That one didn't work. But that, I'm telling you, this is how you got to check you don't have to make a whole painting, but this is how you got to check your markers if you want to do our super fun kind of sus. Tomorrow, here's kind of sus. We're doing this with the markers, and I'm going to teach kids how to draw it freehand. There's a template in there for those who need it, but I always encourage y'all, try it freehand. Okay, so another fun idea, okay? So this was adding it. This was coloring directly on it. You could also do like two colors next to each other, so it's not just one solid color. I want to do a fun little trick for snow. Okay, so I'm just gonna color some color in the background. Now that pen's almost dead. But we're gonna get some color on here. Now, again, that's the marker. And if you practice on another piece of paper just to see if you have any markers in your house that'll work for the paint party or for anything like this, you can just do it like that. You don't have to make a whole picture, okay? So we're gonna put some water on here. Get some water. So now I've got lots of background. Let's pretend that's our background, right? I can take something else I love, which is salt. This is magic. So you tell the kids we're going to do magic art today. And then we put that on there and they're like, what's the magic? While it's wet, it has to be wet. You're going to take a little sprinkle of just table salt and you can just sprinkle it on. And then it does take a while to dry. I'd say don't brush any of this off until, like 4 hours later. I won't make you sit here for 4 hours right now, but like 4 hours later, or even the next day, just come back. It's going to start to absorb. And while we're working here, it is watercolor paper, Kat. Yes, this is the Canson. I was just showing off some of my favorites. This is my favorite watercolor paper, especially for the kiddos. Canson watercolor. It's 30 sheets, 9 by 12. It's I think it's cold press. Yeah, 140 pounds. Okay, so this is great. It's like you can get it down as low as like $6 a pack. Walmart even has it. Okay, you guys. So you sprinkle the salt on, and then you let it go, let it go, and then you have the kids sing the song and watch the magic happen. Okay, so that's one way, and you'll start to see what happens with the salt. Where did I put the salt? Oh, I put it away. Okay, so you'll start to see what happens with the salt. Now, less is more, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to put a bigger puddle up here because I see I have a lot there. Less is more when it comes to the salt, okay? And you'll see as that starts to activate, which it already is, why less is more. If you have it in one big blob, you're going to get kind of one big blob of the action, and if you have it sprinkled, it looks more like snowflakes. And since we're talking about winter and snow, even though it doesn't happen where I live in California, well, in some parts, but not where I live, then we're going with the snow theme, okay? So that's a fun way to make snow. Now, let's see. It also works, this was with marker, but it also works if you have, regular watercolor. I'll show you. Crayola watercolor right here, you guys. The best watercolor. One, because it's cheap, but even more, it has the most vibrant colors of all the watercolor. It's better than all the rest. I'm telling you. I'm looking at 4 different sets of watercolor I have here. Some expensive, some cheap. Crayola, my favorite. So that'll activate, and you guys will see that'll work too. So markers, watercolor, all Crayola. This was Mr. Sketch scented, and I don't love it for this. I like it for coloring with, but I don't love it for this. Now, let's see. Fun things you can do with paint. That needs to dry. So let me grab, I'll just color it. No, I won't. Don't you like how my brain's just like, oh, no, I won't. I need some paint, y'all. Okay, so this is Deco Arts paint. I'll just put it on there. And we'll grab a little brush. I don't want to keep you all too late tonight, but I think this is kind of like fun to learn this stuff. And I think you guys will like it. So, and Christmas break's coming up. We have the gnome paint party happening this weekend. So I think most people have break starting, most people. My friend who's a teacher in the Midwest, she said they don't get out for break until the 23rd. What? Why? That's ridiculous. People should be able to enjoy this time with their family, right? Anyways, so most people will be out for the next 2 weeks, I think, at least. Some are, year round, so they're out longer. But if you're out for the next 2 weeks and you're looking for some fun stuff to do, we currently have this Wednesday's paint party, which will be available for a week. So you guys will have it like up to Christmas, okay? And so if your kids can't do it on Wednesday and you still want to hop into that, they can do it later. They can do it during Christmas break and just catch the replay inside the group. And it's only $10 for your family to do it. And they'll still have fun, okay? So you make it happen when it works best for you. It'll be up till Christmas. I'm leaving all of our December paintings up until Christmas because I think people are going to get a break, you know? And they kind of need a break. And you guys are going to be like, now what do we do in the house? So paint party it up. It's so fun. Once you get going, people are not wanting to stop you guys. I have so many people who are like, joining one paint party, they're like, okay, fine. My friend told me I should try it, so I'm going to try it. Lindsay, how are you? Oh, I love that you're here, Linz. I haven't seen you forever. So I know people, lots of people in these groups that have been joining in the paint parties the last couple months. And they're like, well, my friend told me I should do it, so I'm doing it. I'm not an artist. I can't draw stick figure. I'm no good at this, but I'll do it. And then they do it. And the next thing I know, they're like, okay, when's the next party and how do I sign up? I have a friend who just started this week and she's already signed up for 3. So, and she was like, I'm not going to do any more holiday parties. But then I saw the gnomes and I'm in. So it's so fun. Okay, these are called daubers. And you can get these. I got these ones at Hobby Lobby. You could get them at Michael's. You could get them on Amazon, whatever you want. But they're just little daubers. Basically, there's sticks with a little sponge on the end that are round. Those work too. These ones just slide on your finger, which is fun for anybody. And so I just grab a little white paint and I paint it back here with a little bit of acrylic. And these are also really great for putting like ornaments on a Christmas tree if you're doing a painting like that. But they can make really cute like big snowballs or polka dots. And depending on how light you press or how heavy you press, you can get kind of a whole different effect, right? So those are really fun, mixing it even with different colors. Let me grab a different color. Let me, without knocking off my cute little gnomes. Oh, you guys can't see them right now. But I have these cute little gnomes that my mom sent to me because we got the gnome party coming up. I'm going to have to use red. Oh, well, that's all right. I'll use red. I was looking for pink, but I can't reach my pink. So if you are going to layer these, I could grab a little, I know everyone's like, yeah, Ashley, did you know that white and red make pink? I know. Okay, so you can take off quite a lot. You don't need a bunch, but you can kind of layer them and put it right over the top. And it creates like a little highlight and a little glow about it, depending on how hard you press or if you put it straight on the center or not, right? So you can leave them white or you can kind of mix it up and add the other colors in, which is so fun. Now, I squish out as much paint as I can because you guys, these things you gotta wash really well and you'll have paint coming at them for days, even with the tiny amount that I put on there, okay? But you can just work back and forth and kind of have fun with how those colors mix, you know? It's just really fun. And you can make a whole, like, you know the bokeh effect? Bokeh? What is it, Dylan? Boke something. With the photographers know what I'm talking about. I've got them all watching right now, I'm sure. Bokeh. Dylan calls it bokeh. I call it bokeh. But whatever. Anyway, so that's really a fun effect to put so it looks like the lights on your Christmas trees are glowing or whatever. And, oh, I do want to say, this is called Snow Text. This is hard to find right now. This is by Deco Art. I love it. Hard to find. Hard to find. But you can make it with 1 part Mod Podge, 1 part sand, like white craft sand and white acrylic paint. And then you can also add really, really fine glitter to it if you want. And the fun thing about this is that you can take it out like a little scoop. So you want it to be like a paste consistency. And let's say I wanted to add snow to my, see, that's working. Add snow to my flower. I could just like smush it on like anywhere I wanted a little snow effect. Maybe I want it here so you could see it better. But you could put like a little snow. It's weird to have snow on a flower. I get it. But you add snow and it starts to look like your painting's a little bit more dimensional. It's got some texture to it. This is great on our Christmas truck and tree that we did, which is behind me on the wall. But the truck and tree got some snow tech on it. What else? We did, oh, this one, I'll show you. Not that one. This one, you guys, is also still available through Christmas, okay? So we're leaving these up for all of the December ones through Christmas. The truck and tree This is the Vintage Santa. So much fun. If you guys have not painted this, it is so relaxing to paint if you just need to relax. This one is, I loved it. It was so therapeutic. It was great. But this is all the snow text. So I put it into his little mustache and beard and hair and hat. And that's really fun. Hi, Bev. How are you, love? Oh, I'm getting excited for our painting. Bev's doing the paint party. So all of this is snow text. So that's what that kind of effect will do. Kat, you can still do it. Okay, so anybody who wants to do these, go to craveartclub.com/paint parties. Okay, first of all, let me just say, Katie, it's really weird to call you Kat, but it keeps popping up with Kat, but I always call you Katie, and it's really weird. Sorry. But if you want to do this, it's craveartclub.com/paint parties, IES, and then there's an option for paint party replay. So click that, and then it'll ask you which one you want to do. This is the Vintage Santa, and then I add you to the group, and you catch the replay, and you can chat with everyone in the group, and it's super fun. This one, sorry for the noise, this was our Grinch tree, and this one is also still available. I went in, if you don't have snow text, all of these will still work without it. This is like just an added step that I went and did afterwards, okay? So this is all snow text. When we did it with white paint. Looks fantastic, totally fine. But also, Katie is my name, so it's fine. She says, it's driving me nuts. So anyways, this is just extra, okay? It will look great without it. If you don't have it, if you don't want to make it with that concoction and recipe I just told you, totally fine. You can still do all of these without it. But if you wanted to be like, I got a special fun thing for the kids to play with, or myself, then you can do that. It's really, really fun. And we did add it to the truck and tree is the other one. This one we did last weekend, and we are leaving this one up as well. This was so fun. I just love art, I guess, because everything I say is so fun. But we did this last weekend, and this is up. So paint party, you can catch the paint party replay. That's the one you want to sign up for if you want any of those 4, okay? Back to supplies. So fun. So fun. Let's just count how many times Miss Ashley says so fun. Pretty soon there's going to be like side bets. Like at what minute do you think she's going to say so fun? And then everyone, take a shot or do whatever. I don't know. But you're going to have some fun. That's it. I'll be back, says Bev. Okay. Bev will be back. Oh, my mom's on too. I might add some snow text to my tree. Oh, fun. Good. Yes, it's so fun. Did it again, you guys. Okay. Supplies. Another question has been, which paint pens do you like the best? I love the Posca paint pens. They are the most affordable. They work very well. Their colors are very vibrant. They're easy to use, and they're fairly easy to get your hands on. So this is smaller than I usually use. This is the PC3M, which is this little number here. And that means it is a 0.9 to 1.3 millimeter, and it's bullet shaped. Now they have chisel tip. They have these really pointy ones. If you're gonna do it on canvas, the pointy ones are not great because they'll spit. They'll like flick paint all over because they catch on the texture of the canvas. I like the bullet tip because they're good on everything. So this is the size of a 3M, PC3M, okay? And what I would do is if I'm outlining things, a lot of times I'll go over it so that it's just more vibrant and not with a Sharpie. But Sharpie works. This is just like one step up, okay? And they're filled with paint. When you get them, the tip of them is white. It's called the nib. This part is white. And to activate it, you just press it in. Hey, how come this Trish person gets labeled as a top fan? Well, Bev, you gotta comment more. You gotta give me more likes. You gotta give me more comments. You gotta share more. And you gotta post. That's how you get to be a top fan. I don't know. But this is how you would activate your pen. So it's white to start. I'm gonna just, not on my artwork, on another page, I would just press down and you hold it down for a couple seconds here. And then you'll start to see that the paint in here will start to run down and will start to activate in the pen. Oh, she's giving me all the hearts and likes now. You're so funny. Yes, you have to like the page, follow the page, share the page, do all the things the fans get to do. Oh, it's starting to work, you guys. See, it takes a minute. Don't worry if it takes a minute. Oh no, and now Mom's trying to beat you. So yes, that's how you get a top fan status. Like, comment, share, do all the things Facebook wants you to do so that they'll share my page with other people. You guys know that basically the only way that my page gets to get shared, even with other people who follow my page here, is only if you guys like, share, comment, and do all the things, because then Facebook says like, oh, people are enjoying this. This is important content. I should let it go farther. If people don't do that, then Facebook just stops it and they kind of say like, you've reached your 30 people and that's good enough for us because you're not helping us grow. So if you guys do that, I would love it. But see how nice this is? And now if you're gonna do lettering, watch. If I'm gonna try to write, let's say with this round brush, and I'm gonna write joy with a brush, okay? And think about for a kid even, it's harder for a kid to do this, okay? So I'm gonna write joy, and remember, I have been painting a long time, so don't judge yourself against anything I ever do or you do or what you've done yesterday or what you'll do in the future. Just be happy with how it is right then, okay? So I could write joy with that paintbrush, okay? Look how much easier it is if I just write joy like that. And that's paint and it's on, and I can actually go in and thicken some lines up a lot easier, right? So paint pens are fantastic. If you're gonna be doing lettering, paint pens are the way to go, okay? So much easier. They're great for when you finish a project and you want things outlined, like this Mary 2020. This is all outlined in paint pen. It would have taken me so long with a brush to do it. It would have gotten frustrating because you have to keep reloading to do all the outlines. So a paint pen is really great. And my kids really like to work in paint pen. It's just like writing with a regular marker, but it's paint, y'all. So that's really fun. And now you guys can see, here's the cool snow effect that's happening. For everyone who's just joining, we're just having some fun with supplies and learning some cool tricks and tips now. So thanks for hopping on. So this is what I did. This was marker as a watercolor, and I showed how to do that earlier. This is watercolor as watercolor. And then this is what happens when you sprinkle the salt on it, okay? Remember how I said less is more? Well, when you do the less, you get the snowflake effect. So if your kids are gonna wanna make snowflake in their artwork, then it has to be wet and they want to use just a little bit. If you want maybe like more of this, I like to use this effect for like coral or things under the sea is kind of fun. But this is what's gonna happen, and they're gonna be like, I wanted snowflakes. That's not snowflakes. But that's what happens when you use a lot of salt, because it's absorbing the color and the water from the watercolor, okay? And then this is what it's like on the watercolor paper. This is watercolor, this is marker, okay? This is marker used as watercolor, not just marker. Has to be wet, okay? So that's kind of, you can see how it looks like little snowflakes, kind of fun. And the kids love that. I'm a big kid and I love it. What else we have? We only have glitter. That's all we've got left, you guys. I'm just showing off some glitter real quick. Okay. Well, this is hologram glitter. And this, you probably won't even be able to see the effect because it's clear. So I'll show you with regular glitter too. But if you want things to look sparkly, or the kids do, and you don't like to get out the glitter and the glue and all the stuff because it's a mess and then glitter's everywhere, and then your husband's probably like, do not ever use glitter in this house again. Maybe not. Maybe that's not what he sounds like, but it could very well be. But look at this. It's basically like glue paint with glitter mixed in. Okay, now I'll tip it. Can you see it? Oh, you can. So it's like glue paint, which is like clear, with glitter mixed in, and then the glitter just sparkles and you have no mess. Like there's no glitter anywhere. I would use a brush that you don't mind always using for it and having glitter in, which was not the brush I just used. But the glitter, it does stick in your brush a little more than maybe I'd like, but it is really fun, and it's an easy way to keep your house from being glitter bombed everywhere. Okay, then there's this other stuff, glitterific. Deco art has one, folk art has one, everyone has glitter paint, right? And all these different kinds and sizes. Let's get a little bit out. There we go. So there's different colors. There's galaxy glitter. There's different sizes of glitter. So this is very, very fine, dusty kind of glitter. I'm going to put this on with a palette knife. This is like really chunky glitter. So this would be good like maybe on a mermaid or something fun. But this is, see how chunky that is? So this could actually be like really fun as like glittery snowflakes, or if you do a snow globe and you want big chunks of glitter. But it has like this iridescent quality to it, and then has the chunks of glitter in it as well. Okay, best place to find the first glitter you showed. That is a folk art brand, extreme glitter hologram. I think you can get this at Michael's or Walmart, probably on the Amazons. I saw it the other day at Hobby Lobby, I think. So yeah, pretty much any craft stores would have that. It's just called hologram glitter. So this is what the bigger glitter kind of does. See how we've got the bigger chunks in there, and it still has that nice shine, that little glossy sparkle. But this is definitely like really fine and subtle. A subtle effect, a much more loud effect. So pick which you would prefer. And then another quick thing. Oh yeah, okay, so Bev got it at Target. She got hologram glitter at Target because she did use it for our tree painting, I think it was. Another quick tip, and then we'll get off of here, y'all. But another quick tip for when your kids are crafting or you're crafting is to have a little bucket nearby, okay? I also have a trash can under the table, but even if you just have a little bucket, what the heck? You can have one bucket for trash, scraps, if they're doing scraps or any of that stuff. But I like to have a bucket for when they're done with paintbrushes and they've rinsed them out in the cup and wiped it off so that we know it's fairly clean. And then we just put them in the bucket with the brush sticking up. That way, at the end of crafting art time, all the supplies are easily put away, okay? I keep all my markers in a bucket. So if there's any markers on the table, you assign a kiddo to put those away. Obviously, watercolor is kind of wet when you're done with it. I always put a paper towel in the lid, and then I just close the lid. It absorbs a little bit of it, but that way it's not this sloppy mess all over the place. And then any of your paint pens and things like that, they're fairly easy to clean up. But all the trash, I would normally have like a second bucket. All right, here, I'll put my brush in a cup. And then any of the trash can just go in like this. So all the kids can just put their trash in the bucket as they're going. And then your cleanup is really, really fairly easy to do and does not take much time at all. So you guys, there's really like no excuse, right? It's super easy. So yeah, y'all, that's what we did. We did some fun supplies tonight. Crayola broad line markers is the best. The best, hands down, for turning them into watercolor. And they're just vibrant, great markers anyways. And they are good with kids, so why not, right? And then the Crayola watercolor 24 count is my favorite because it has all the colors and they're all vibrant and they're super affordable, okay? And then the salt trick, we talked about this cute little dauber trick. We talked about how Mr. Sketch is great for coloring with markers, but not my favorite for watercolor techniques. So we've got some deco art paints we played with to do those snowflakes with the dauber. That was fun. And my favorites, the Posca paint pens. Gotta love those, okay? So these are great for lettering, outlining, and especially for the kiddos. This is the PC5M. This is a bullet tip as well, and it's 1.8 to 2.5 millimeter. And these we use the most often because they're thicker. They're like a little bit wider line than the Sharpie line, so it totally covers up any Sharpie lines underneath. And a lot of times when we paint, we'll draw it first, and then we'll Sharpie it, and then we'll outline it on top just to kind of finish it all up. You don't have to. There's so many different ways to paint, but we use that trick a lot with the kiddos especially because a lot of times we're not sure where those outlines kind of end up and what that shape might have been. So an outline on it, you're like, oh, now I see it. It is a cow wearing a chicken hat. You're right. Right? So it's just a good trick with the kiddos. All right, friends, that's pretty much it for tonight. I hope you guys have fun. Remember to sign your kiddos up for this kind of sus snow globe paint party that's happening tomorrow. And it will be, I know we've got friends in the Family Art Time group and we've got friends on your Creative Avenue page. This will be taught outside of those groups and pages and not in the Crave Art Club either. Whoa, that made me really dark, huh? It was like a shadow. My face like light up. But those will be taught, that along with, I'll show you the gnomes. That will be taught in private groups outside of those groups, okay? So go to craveartclub.com/paint parties to sign up for those paintings, okay? Or to catch the paint party replays of anything we've done in December. So this is the gnomes. This is happening on Saturday. Saturday, I think at 5 p.m., okay? Pacific time. So this is the gnomes. It's going to be so fun. Also did the snow text we talked about today on the gnomes down here in the snow. You don't have to. If you don't have it, it's fine. But I did add it on top of the little sign and on the snow. So those are what we got going on. We have for replays the truck behind me. Oh, you could hop into the Family Art Time group, Family Art Time with Creative Avenue, and you'll get the snowman right here for free. There's a whole tutorial. Just go to announcements once you join the group, and you can get that for free if you're not already in it. We have the Grinch 2020. We have the Grinch tree. We have the truck and tree behind my head, and we have the vintage snowman. All on replay, you guys, through Christmas, okay? So then everything will switch and most of that will come down. So if you're wanting to catch a replay, then make sure you catch it now because it is gonna be gone after the Christmas season here, okay? We might leave it up to January 1st, not sure yet. So hop in quick and get those if you wanna catch a replay. Otherwise, sign up for the ones coming up, okay? It's gonna be fun, y'all. Have a great rest of your week, you guys. And if you just hopped on, go back and start from the beginning because there's lots of fun little tricks and tips and supplies for you and the kiddos this holiday season. All right, guys, have a great night. Bye, friends.